The entertainment world is spinning out of control tonight as shocking FBI leaks pull back the curtain on a scandal that no one saw coming. Rap legend T.I.'s son, King Harris, has been making headlines for his wild antics. But this time knits way beyond late-night Instagram lives or viral street arguments. According to whispers from inside the FBI itself, King is facing something so serious, so career-ending, that even his father's legendary influence might not be enough to save him. Fans are stunned, insiders are panicking, and the Harris family, once known as hip-hop royalties, now at the center of a storm that could tear them apart forever. Rumors are swirling that investigators have uncovered evidence tying King to activities that could put him behind bars for years. He's done one insider bluntly revealed, claiming the evidence is irrefutable and the consequences inescapable. Emotions are running high as supporters rally online, demanding answers while critics say they saw this downfall coming from miles away. What's really happening behind those closed doors? What secrets are the FBI ready to expose? And how is King's fiery personality colliding with his father's desperate attempts to keep the family's image intact? Stay tuned, because this story is just getting started. The whispers began late at night, when a leaked report allegedly surfaced from deep inside federal files, claiming that King Harris was no longer just a reckless celebrity kid making headlines for his antics. According to those who claim to have seen the documents, the situation had escalated into something much darker. The leak suggested that King had been under quiet surveillance for months, and the evidence collected was said to be so damning that prosecutors were preparing to move forward. Fans could hardly believe it. One day he was going live on Instagram, flexing jewelry and mouthing off to critics, and the next, his name was tied to words like charges, conspiracy, and prison. Inside the Harris household, tension was boiling over. T, the self-proclaimed king of the South, was said to be furious but also terrified. Sources close to the family claimed that he stormed through their Atlanta mansion late at night, shouting, "I told him this path was going to catch up to him. I told him." Tiny King's mother was allegedly in tears, begging T to calm down. "He's still our son," she cried. "Can't abandon him now." But T's frustration was palpable. He had worked decades to build an empire, only for it to be dragged into chaos by his youngest son's reckless choices. The fans, meanwhile, were divided. Social media exploded with heated debates. Some defended King, saying he was young, misunderstood, and unfairly targeted because of his family's fame. Others argued that he had been acting untouchable for too long, and now reality was crashing down. One viral tweet read, "King thought he was above the law. The FBI just proved he's not." But what exactly was the FBI accusing him of? That was the burning question. The leaked reports hinted at late-night altercations, suspicious financial activity, and even connections to people who were already on law enforcement's radar, while nothing had been confirmed officially. The leaks painted a picture of a young man spiraling out of control. King himself didn't help matters. Instead of keeping quiet, he allegedly took to Instagram Live just hours after the first leak went public. Pacing back and forth in a dimly lit room, he shouted into the camera, "They trying to play with me. They think they can scare me with these lies, but I'm not folding. I'm not no punk." The live quickly racked up thousands of viewers, and comments flooded in. Some begged him to stay quiet, warning him that anything he said could be used against him. Others egged him on, cheering him for standing his ground. But T, watching from another room, was said to be fuming. According to insiders, he snatched the phone from King's hand after the live ended and slammed it down on the table. "You're digging your own grave," T yelled, his voice echoing through the house. King shot back, "You don't understand me. You never did." The family was left divided, with Tiny trying desperately to mediate while the younger siblings looked on in fear. Outside the family, a hip-hop community was buzzing. Some artists reached out privately to express support, while others distanced themselves entirely. One unnamed rapper was quoted as saying, "We can't have his drama attached to us. If the feds are involved, you better believe they're watching everybody around him." as if the family wasn't already dealing with enough. A new twist surfaced. A former associate of King, someone who claimed to be close to him during his late-night outings, began speaking out. In a shocking interview, the associate alleged that King had been rolling with the wrong crowd for months, and that the FBI had been watching not just him, but his entire circle. He thought he was untouchable because of who his daddy is, the associate sneered. But the feds don't care about no rap royalty. They care about facts. This revelation sent shockwaves online. Fans began digging through old videos of King's behavior, connecting dots, and speculating about what kind of trouble he could really be in. Every clip of him arguing in public or flashing money suddenly felt like evidence of a deeper problem. In the midst of this frenzy, Tiny made a quiet public statement. In a soft, emotional voice, she told a reporter, "We just ask for prayers. People forget he's only a young man still learning. He has a good heart, but he's lost his way." Her words broke the internet. Many sympathized with her pain, but others accused her of enabling King's reckless behavior for too long. One fan wrote, "Tiny always plays the caring mom role. But at some point, you got to admit your son is out of control." Meanwhile, T's approach was much harsher. According to a source close to him, he began calling in favors from lawyers, investigators, and industry connections. "He's trying to control the narrative," the source revealed. He knows if this story keeps spiraling, it could ruin not just King, but the entire Harris brand. And just when it seemed like the situation couldn't get any more dramatic, another bombshell dropped. An alleged FBI insider leaked that there was actual video evidence footage linking King to a late-night incident. That was under federal review. Details were scarce, but the very idea of video proof set the internet ablaze. Fans immediately began speculating. What could the video show? Was it a fight? A deal gone wrong? Something bigger? The theories multiplied by the hour. Hashtags like #FreeKing and #KingHarris exposed began trending simultaneously, showing just how split the public had become. Within the Harris home, things were falling apart. King grew more defiant, refusing to stay quiet despite his father's strict orders. In one particularly heated moment, he shouted, "I'm not scared of no FBI. I'm not scared of nobody." T snapped back. "Boy, you don't even know what you're up against. You're not in control anymore." Tiny, torn between her husband and her son, broke down in tears. "We can't lose him," she whispered, her voice shaking. "Not to the system. Not to his own pride." Her words struck a chord with fans who watched the clip of her emotional plea circulate online. Many commented that her heartbreak was the most real moment of the saga so far. The more King pushed back, the more his image crumbled. Brands that had once considered him for collaborations began quietly backing away. One company allegedly pulled out of a deal at the last minute, saying they couldn't risk being associated with potential federal charges. King's friends started disappearing too. People who once crowded around him in videos were nowhere to be seen. Then came the most shocking betrayal yet. According to whispers, someone inside King's inner circle, someone he trusted, had started cooperating with investigators. The identity of this person remained a mystery, but the very possibility sent King into a rage. "They all snakes," he shouted in one of his now-deleted posts. "Ain't nobody real no more?" But this betrayal was only the beginning. Behind the scenes, T was told that the leaks were just the tip of the iceberg. More revelations were coming, and the family had to brace themselves. Insiders claim that T sat silently after hearing the news, staring into space before muttering, "They're not just after him. They're coming for all of us." The stage was set for even more drama. And as the night fell over Atlanta, fans waited anxiously for the next shocking twist, unaware that what was about to come would shake the Harris family to its very core. The next morning, the air inside the Harris mansion was heavy with silence, the kind of silence that only comes after a storm. But that silence didn't last long. Just as the family tried to catch their breath, another wave of chaos struck, this time in the form of a phone call that T would never forget. According to insiders, a federal contact reached out, warning him that a press release was imminent. The FBI was preparing to go public with details about King's alleged involvement in what they described as ongoing criminal activity. The words hit T like a punch to the gut. He reportedly slammed his fist against the kitchen counter, startling Tiny, who had been sitting quietly with a cup of coffee. "They're trying to destroy us," T muttered, pacing back and forth, his voice low but trembling with anger. Tiny's eyes filled with tears as she asked the one question everyone was afraid of. What if they really have something, Cliff? King, overhearing the conversation from upstairs, came storming down the stairs with his trademark bravado. "They ain't got nothing on me," he shouted. "They just hating 'cause of who my daddy is. Y'all really believe this mess?" His words, meant to sound confident, only deepened the cracks in the family. T spun around and snapped. "This isn't a game, boy. This is federal. Do you even know what that means?" King rolled his eyes, muttering under his breath, "I ain't scared of no feds." Outside the mansion, the media circus was growing. Paparazzi camped out near the driveway, desperate to capture a shot of King or T. News anchors breathlessly speculated about what the leaked report might contain. One outlet even claimed to have seen documents suggesting that King had been present during a violent altercation months earlier. Fans gasped at the revelation, while critics declared it was only a matter of time before his reckless behavior caught up with him. Social media was ablaze, and hashtags grew louder by the hour. Hashtag Free King continued to trend, but so did hashtag Lock Him Up. One fan posted a video in tears, saying, "I grew up watching their family on TV, and now this. It feels like watching a fairy tale fall apart in real life." Another user wrote, "The Harris family always acted like they were untouchable, but the truth always comes out." The pressure was unbearable, and Tiny tried to shield her son from the noise. But King wasn't interested in hiding. In fact, he doubled down, once again hopping on Instagram Live. This time, his energy was even more defiant. "Look, I ain't perfect," he admitted, "but all this talk about the FBI and charges, it's lies. They trying to paint me out to be a villain. I ain't no villain." But instead of calming the storm, his rant fanned the flames. Fans noticed he seemed jittery, his words slurred at times, leading to new speculation about what else might be going on behind the scenes. The comments were brutal. One person typed, "He looks scared and guilty," while another said, "This is exactly how you end up digging yourself deeper." T's patience finally snapped. According to someone close to the family, he confronted King the moment the live ended. "You're ruining yourself and you're ruining us," T shouted, his voice shaking with rage. King, red-faced and breathing heavy, fired back. "I'm not you, Pops. Stop trying to make me live the life you want. I'm my own man." The argument reportedly escalated to the point where Tiny had to physically step between them, her hands trembling as she pleaded, "Please, not like this. We can't fall apart now." But the damage was done. The family's once tightly guarded unity was now unraveling in front of millions of onlookers. And then came the betrayal that no one saw coming. A mysterious voice recording leaked online, allegedly featuring King's voice in a heated exchange with someone from his inner circle. In the recording, the two argued over money, with King angrily saying, "You better not run your mouth to them people." The authenticity of the tape was never confirmed. But that didn't matter. Fans believed it, and the internet erupted. "This is the smoking gun," one user wrote. The timing couldn't have been worse. Just hours after the leak, the FBI officially confirmed that King was a person of interest in an ongoing investigation, though they stopped short of naming the specific charges. The mere acknowledgement sent shockwaves across the entertainment industry. Hip-hop blogs lit up, and several artists who had once co-signed King's rise suddenly went silent. One producer even deleted old posts featuring him, while another tweeted, "Sometimes you gotta cut ties before it's too late." King felt the sting of abandonment deeply, even if he didn't show it. Behind closed doors, he reportedly screamed at his parents, "See, they all fake. They was never my friends. They just wanted to use me 'cause of y'all." His anger was raw, but beneath it was a painful truth. His world was collapsing, and he had no control over it. In a shocking turn, Tiny allegedly reached out to an old family friend, begging for advice. "He doesn't listen to us anymore," she confessed through tears. "I'm afraid of what's going to happen to him." This friend, who chose to remain anonymous, later described Tiny as a mother watching her child drown and not knowing how to save him. While Tiny fought with her heart, T fought with strategy. Determined to salvage the situation, he began quietly meeting with lawyers and crisis managers. One insider revealed that T was considering sending King away for a while, maybe overseas, to escape the spotlight. But it might already be too late, the insider admitted. The feds aren't letting this go. And just when it seemed like the family couldn't take another blow, another twist landed. A former friend of King's went public in an explosive interview, claiming that King had been involved in a late-night incident at an Atlanta club, and that federal investigators had the footage. "I saw it with my own eyes," the friend claimed. "It wasn't no misunderstanding. It was serious. And if that tape comes out, it's over for him." The internet went into overdrive, demanding answers. Was there really a tape? Why hadn't it surfaced yet? And if it was real, what exactly did it show? The speculation alone was enough to cause panic in the Harris home. T reportedly screamed at his team, "We need to shut this down before it spreads any further." But the problem was, story was already everywhere. By nightfall, Atlanta was buzzing with rumors. Every club, every studio, every street corner was alive with whispers about King Harris and his looming downfall. The Harris mansion, once a symbol of success, now felt more like a fortress under siege. Fans parked outside, reporters camped on sidewalks, and drones hovered above the property. Inside, the atmosphere was suffocating. King sat in his room alone, scrolling through the endless flood of comments. Some begged him to change his ways, others mocked him relentlessly. For the first time, according to a source, King's bravado cracked. He whispered quietly to himself, "What if they really got me? What if I can't beat this?" The saga was far from over, and the leaks were only getting juicier. With each passing day, more secrets were set to spill, and the Harris family would have no choice but to face them head-on. But what none of them knew was that the most devastating twist was still to come. A twist that would shake their family to its very core. The following day began with yet another explosion of headlines. This time louder and messier than before. Entertainment outlets across the country plastered King's face on their front pages, while whispers of an impending indictment reached fever pitch. One article claimed that King had been directly connected to a series of incidents involving violent disputes. And though the details remained vague, the shockwaves rippled through the industry. Fans were stunned, and critics sharpened their knives. He thought he could play gangster, one commentator sneered online. But now he's about to learn what real consequences look like. Inside the Harris household, the atmosphere had grown unbearable. T, already drained from sleepless nights and endless phone calls, reportedly confronted King with a stack of printouts showing the latest headlines. Slamming them on the table, T barked, "Look at this. Look at what they're saying about you, about us. This isn't just your mess anymore, it's our family name, King." Leaning back in his chair with a smirk that barely hid his fear, shot back, "So what? I ain't the one who told them lies? I can't control the media." His words were dismissive, but his eyes betrayed a flicker of panic. Tiny, who had been silently wringing her hands, suddenly broke down. "Baby, please," she cried, her voice cracking. "You don't see what's happening. They're building a case against you. You're giving them the fuel they need." The argument escalated, its voices echoing through the halls of the mansion until even the younger siblings retreated to their rooms in tears. King's defiance clashed with T's fury, and Tiny's desperation only deepened the rift. It was no longer just about the FBI or the media. It was about a family falling apart under the weight of scandal outside their walls. The streets of Atlanta hummed with gossip. Fans gathered near the mansion gates, holding signs that read "Free King" and chanting his name. At the same time, others booed, shouting, "Lock him up and justice for the truth." The division was stark, a reflection of the chaos unfolding inside the Harris home. And then, as if on cue, a devastating twist hit the internet like wildfire. A short, grainy clip surfaced online, allegedly pulled from club security footage. Though the video was blurry, viewers claimed it showed King in the middle of a heated altercation, his voice unmistakable as he yelled and shoved another man. The clip spread like fire across Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Garnering millions of views within hours, fans were in disbelief. "This is it," one tweeted. "This is what the FBI got." Another posted, "He can't talk his way out of this now." The clip, though not conclusive, was damning enough to shift public opinion drastically. Even those who had defended King began to question their loyalty. King's response was immediate and explosive. Jumping on live once again, he furiously denied the clip's authenticity. "That ain't even me," he insisted, his voice trembling with anger. "Y'all believe anything you see online? It's fake. They trying to set me up." But the more he ranted, the more fans doubted him. The comments section was brutal. "Looks just like you, bro. That's your voice. Quit lying." T, upon seeing the live, reportedly stormed into King's room and ripped the phone out of his hands. "You're digging a hole you can't climb out of," T yelled, his voice raw. King shoved back, shouting, "You ain't perfect either. You've got your own past, but they forgave you. Why can't they forgive me?" The room fell silent. T froze, his face darkening as old wounds resurfaced. Tiny, terrified of where the conversation was headed, quickly pulled King aside. "Don't throw his past in his face. Not now," she whispered, her voice breaking. But the damage had been done. King had crossed a line. And the rift between father and son grew wider than ever. Meanwhile, the betrayal within King's inner circle deepened. The mystery informant feeding information to investigators was rumored to be closer than anyone imagined. Speculation online pointed to one of his closest friends, some often seen in his videos and at his side during public appearances. Fans began digging through old clips, analyzing body language, and pointing fingers. The paranoia seeped into King's world, and he lashed out, accusing multiple friends of being the snitch. In one tense confrontation, King reportedly screamed at a longtime friend, "I know it's you. You've been running your mouth to them feds." The friend, shocked and hurt, denied it, shouting back, "You think I'd sell you out? After everything we've been through? Nah, you trippin'." The fight ended with the friend storming out, slamming the door behind him, and King left shaking with rage and betrayal, while King spiraled. Tiny attempted to hold the family together. She organized a quiet family dinner, hoping to bring peace, but the night quickly fell apart. King refused to eat, scrolling through his phone instead. T barely spoke, his jaw clenched tight. When Tiny finally asked everyone to share how they felt, King snapped, "I feel like I'm the only one in this house who ain't fake." The room fell into stunned silence, and Tiny's tears returned as the family fractured. The industry watched from a distance. One record executive was quoted anonymously saying, "If King don't fix his image, he's done. No label, no brand, no partnership will touch him. This could ruin his entire future." The harsh reality was setting in. King's career was on life support. And the FBI's looming shadow made it even worse, just when fans thought the scandal had peaked. Another twist rocked the internet. Leaked text messages surfaced. KLLEGEDLY, showing King bragging about his ability to get away with anything because of who his father was. One message read, "They can't touch me. I'm a Harris," though the authenticity of the messages was never confirmed. They went viral, fueling outrage. Critics pounced, saying this was proof of his arrogance, while supporters claimed it was a setup to tarnish his name further. The tension reached its breaking point when T reportedly received a call from a high-profile lawyer with chilling news. "They've got enough to bring charges," the lawyer warned. "It's not a matter of IFIs, it's a matter of when." T sat in silence, his hands trembling as the reality sank in, back at the mansion. Tiny found King sitting alone in his room, staring blankly at the wall. For the first time, his bravado was gone. "Mama," he whispered, his voice shaking. "What if I can't beat this? What if they lock me up?" Tiny pulled him into her arms, tears streaming down her face. "We'll fight for you," she whispered. "But you gotta meet us halfway. You can't keep running your mouth and making it worse." As the night wore on, the family sat together in the living room, the weight of the scandal pressing down on them. Outside, fans continued to chant, cameras flashed, and the world waited for the next revelation. But none of them knew that the most devastating betrayal was yet to come, one that would not only threaten King's future, but expose deep, painful truths about the Harris family itself. The storm had been building for days, but when the final betrayal arrived, it struck like lightning. Early that morning, a bombshell article exploded across every major news outlet, claiming that the FBI had secured sworn testimony from someone deeply embedded in King's life. The article didn't name the source, but it hinted at someone within his inner circle, closer than family. The internet went wild with speculation, and the hashtag #WhoSNITCHED trended for hours. Inside the Harris mansion, the revelation hit like a grenade. King flew into a rage, throwing his phone across the room and screaming, "I knew it. I told y'all somebody was dirty. I've been saying it." His voice cracked under the weight of betrayal. Tiny rushed to his side, trying to calm him, but King shoved her away, tears welling in his eyes. "They all snakes, Mama. I ain't got nobody." T stood silently in the doorway, his face a storm of anger and fear. Finally, he said in a low, controlled voice, "Son, it ain't about who snitched. It's about what you gave them to snitch about." His words landed like a hammer, and King glared at him with pure hatred. "You think this my fault? You supposed to protect me." The room fell into chaos as father and son clashed once again. Tiny begged them to stop, her voice hoarse from crying, but neither man budged. The gulf between them had grown into an abyss, and every word only pushed them further apart. Then came the twist that no one could have predicted. Hours after the article dropped, a new leak surfaced, audio recordings allegedly taken from private conversations inside the Harris household. In one clip, a voice sounding eerily like King's could be heard boasting about fights, money, and being untouchable. In another, a man sounding like T warned him to lay low before they come knocking. The internet erupted. They got wiretaps. Fans screamed online. The recordings, real or not, were damning enough to ignite a frenzy of theories. The family was blindsided. Tiny collapsed into a chair, whispering, "They're tearing us apart from the inside." T, furious, demanded answers from his lawyers. "How the hell they get recordings inside my house?" he shouted, slamming his hand against the desk. As the recordings circulated, the public's reaction grew uglier. Fans who once sympathized with King now turned their backs. "He'd been bragging this whole time," one user posted. "This ain't no setup, this who he really is." Others claimed the leaks were fabricated. It's part of a larger plan to destroy the Harris family. Conspiracy theories flew, but one thing was clear: the damage was devastating. King's mental state deteriorated rapidly. Locked in his room, he ranted on social media about betrayal, snakes, and enemies everywhere. "They want me gone," he typed in a post, "but I ain't going nowhere. I'll die before I let them break me." The post went viral, with fans split between concern and criticism. "This is a cry for help," some wrote. "This is arrogance at its peak." Others countered, "Dot behind the scenes." T scrambled to contain the fallout. He held frantic meetings with lawyers and publicists, trying to build a defense for his son. "We gotta flip the narrative," he insisted. "Make them see he's just a kid making mistakes." But the lawyers weren't optimistic. One reportedly told him, "The narrative is out of our hands now. It's about evidence. And right now, the evidence looks bad." Tiny, refusing to give up, pushed for a different approach. She begged King to apologize publicly, to show humility and remorse. "Baby, they'll see your heart if you let them," she pleaded, tears streaking her face. But King, hardened by anger and pride, refused. I ain't apologizing for nothing I didn't do, he snapped. If I bow down now, they'll own me forever. The family's attempts to hold things together collapsed when another betrayal hit the headlines. This time, a former friend of King's went on live television, revealing damning details about nights out confrontations and reckless behavior. He thought he was above the law, the friend said coldly. But the truth is, he was reckless. He put himself in this mess. The interview broke King completely. Pacing his room, fists clenched, he screamed at the top of his lungs, "I'll never forgive them. Never." Tiny sobbed outside his door, while T sat silently in the living room. Staring blankly at the floor, the pressure reached its boiling point when the FBI officially announced they were preparing to press charges. Though the specifics were still sealed, the wording was enough to send shockwaves across the world. News anchors repeated the same chilling line. King Harris may be facing serious prison time. The Harris mansion descended into chaos. Phones rang nonstop, reporters crowded the gate, and fans screamed through megaphones. T tried to take control, but even his legendary presence couldn't shield his family from the storm. Tiny, broken, and exhausted, whispered to a close friend, "I feel like we're living in a nightmare we can't wake up from." And just when it seemed like the family had hit rock bottom, one final twist shattered everything. The identity of the informant was leaked, and it wasn't a friend, a bodyguard, or a distant associate. According to the reports, it was a family member. The revelation dropped like a bomb, sending the internet into chaos. One of his own betrayed him, fans screamed. Speculation ran wild. Was it a sibling, a cousin, someone inside the home? The betrayal tore the family apart, igniting suspicions and paranoia within their own walls. King erupted in a fit of rage, screaming at everyone in the house, "Which one of y'all sold me out? Who did it?" Tiny collapsed in tears, begging him to stop, while T stood frozen, his face pale with shock. The family, once united under fame and success, was now shattered by mistrust and betrayal. As the night dragged on, King locked himself away, his cries echoing through the halls. T, sitting alone in his study, whispered quietly to himself, "This might be the end of everything we built." Tiny, clutching a photo of happier times, prayed silently for a miracle. The saga had spiraled beyond control, with federal charges looming, a family torn apart, and betrayal at their doorstep. The Harris empire stood on the brink of collapse. And as the world watched, one haunting question lingered in the air. Was King's fate already sealed? Or was there still time to rewrite the ending of this tragic, shocking drama? As the dust settles over this whirlwind of betrayal, federal leaks, and family heartbreak, one thing is clear. The story of King Harris is far from over. The FBI may have their eyes locked on him. The public may be divided, and even his own family may be torn apart by suspicion. But the final chapter hasn't been written yet. Fans everywhere are left asking, will King rise from this chaos and prove everyone wrong? Or is he truly on the brink of losing it all? Will T's influence be enough to shield his son? Or has the weight of these revelations already crushed the Harris legacy beyond repair? What makes this saga even more haunting are the unanswered questions. Who really leaked the tapes? Was the betrayal from inside the family deliberate or part of a larger setup designed to bring them down? And most importantly, if charges do get filed, will King's fiery defiance help him survive or bury him once and for all? But now, it's your turn to weigh in. Do you believe King is being unfairly targeted? Or is this simply the consequences of his reckless choices? Could this be the moment that changes him forever? Or is it already too late? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We're reading every single one of them. Don't forget to hit that like button if you want us to keep uncovering the shocking twists in this story. And make sure you subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss an update. This drama is far from over. And trust me, you don't want to miss what comes next.